And that's Fox's Chanley Painter. And if you are getting on a plane today for holiday travel, you'll need some luck and some patience as well.
Your holiday may not be until Wednesday, but today's the day most people will attempt to travel to see family, friends, or just to have a vacation.
Normally, I'm sure around like Christmas time and Hanukkah, it's going to get really crowded.
She's flying out from Miami. This traveler already left from Fort Lauderdale when the lines were short.
I try to do things a week ahead to avoid the rush. It's definitely going to pick up, especially with the holidays kind of falling in the middle of the week.
TSA expects some 40 million Americans to fly this Christmas season. Leaving extra time to check in will be a good idea. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The age to get a full retirement benefit from Social Security is going up next year. Some Americans born in 1959 and wanting to get a full 100% of their Social Security payments when retiring will now have to be age 66 and 10 months to get it, this as of 2025. The higher age requirement takes effect next November. The increase in the quote-unquote full retirement age next year will be the next to last change under the Social Security reform law enacted back in 1983. The last change will happen in 2027 for workers born in or after 1960 who have to wait until age 67 for full retirement benefits. America's listening to Fox News.
This holiday, give the gift that will spoil any Fox fan in your life. Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Dana Perino, Will Kane, Brett Baer, Martha McCallum, Brian Kilmeade, The Five, and so much more. All commercial-free. Plus, bonus and early access content, including Fox News audio holiday specials. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com and gift a subscription of Fox News Podcasts Plus. It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year through. Fox News Audio presents the Fox Nation Investigates podcast, a look into the Menendez brothers with victims or villains. Then, Judge Janine Pirro and a panel of experts break down their new fight for freedom with monsters or misunderstood, and follow 3 incredible cases where world-renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden helps change the course of the investigation with the Baden Files. Listen and follow starting January 7th at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A home caught fire. It's 29 degrees and sunny. A high of 37 is expected this afternoon. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 11:03. A man died in a house fire in Maxwell, Indiana, which is just north of Greenfield. It happened early Sunday around 12:30. Firefighters arrived on South Center Street, which is where the house was at. Smoke alarms went off when the fire started and another person got out of the home. They and another firefighter were both taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and the firefighter was released. Firefighters put the fire out, and they are still figuring out how it started. Indy Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder has released a statement about the Social Security Fairness Act passing the U.S. Senate. Sasha Nixon has more.
In it, he said the act is part of an effort to right the wrong done to our nation's law enforcement officers, which penalized Social Security benefits simply because they chose a career to serve and protect their communities. Essentially, former first responders and some other professionals are not eligible for full Social Security benefits, largely because of their pensions. This bill could change how much those retirees receive. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And you're paying an average of $3.10 a gallon of gas today, says AAA. That is up 6 cents from last week. That is up 16 cents from last month and 6 cents above the national average. Cheapest gas is in Boonville at $2.45. WIBC News Time at 11:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Sunny skies for today. Our high temperatures getting into the mid-30s tonight. Partly cloudy skies remain in place. Low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
From sugar cookie crumbs in the kitchen
to pine needles under the tree. Count on Steel for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Power up the holiday and give a gift from the top of their wish list. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Was $159.99 MSRP. Includes battery and charger. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Good morning, Central Indiana. It is 11:06 on a beautiful, crisp, cool day.
It's
29
cold. Not
It's 29
cool.
degrees. Terri Stacy along with Denny Smith and Kyle and Tally. Denny was showing us. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. Good
Oh
good
my
morning
gosh.
to everybody.
Are we on television again?
We sure
Oh,
are.
are we?
YouTube.
Oh, man. I'll
Showing
give
off
you-
your
wait,
pretty
I will-
faces?
Okay.
No, I'm going to go forward. Hold on. I don't
This
want you
is
to see my
supposed to be
profile.
radio, ladies.
I know. It's not my fault.
It still
Kylan.
is radio.
TikTok and
I would say.
Kambuliakin.
Keep up,
Anyway.
Jenny.
Yeah.
We have so many things we all want to do in this 2 hours, and I don't know if we can get to everything. You know, there's things I want to play. A Paul Harvey beautiful piece he did about Christmas and birds and a barn that I just loved from the olden days. We got to get to Denny has done a rendition, and somebody asked for it, Kylan. You're the one that told me. Somebody asked for a cup of Christmas tea. Old times, not really an old time story, but I think it will, if you really listen to the words, it will resonate with you back to your childhood and having, and I use the word having because, or having to
Go see old relatives.
go see old relatives
in the city.
in the city. And you just didn't want to, you know, it was like, well, I'd rather do something different. But anyway, it's a great story by Tom Haig, and you will hear that from Denny coming up too. Just a lot of things. Kylan's got some great Christmas games we want to play.
Are we playing games today?
Yep, I've got my reindeer sweatshirt on, which
Yeah.
you guys will see later on.
It's
so
not
we're
it's
calling
not
it reindeer
Rudolph.
games.
He's got a brown nose.
Yeah.
Brown
Yeah.
nose.
We're not as good for
She's
Rudolph.
cute as a
But
button.
we're 3 days from Santa Claus and the baby Jesus.
Three
I
more
mean,
days till
it-
Christmas. Three
Oh,
more
boy, here
days
we
till
go.
Christmas. Three more days till Christmas, and Santa will be here. Yeah, that was an old Bobby Brown song.
Oh.
But I loved it.
That's Bobby
when I
Brown,
was a
not
child.
Bobby Brown.
No.
Okay.
So glad that you're here with us today. I truly am. First and foremost, I want to thank Blue Angel Connect. Nicole and Kim and Brent Burris, they had their Holiday Hope program yesterday at the Bradley in Greenfield, where they were able to.
You picked up toys for that. That's a hard job.
It's just fun. Shopping is. It's hard and it's fun at the same time. But we went shopping for these families, the entire families, 11 or 12 of them, I think, in Hancock County that needed some assistance this year. And so they provide it, and they're a small but mighty group. And we did that yesterday, and that was fun. Denny, you did something yesterday.
We went just family friends. Jane's friend of many, many years, and they have 3 kids, 4, 5, and 6. And so we buy a few gifts for him. But then we got this. The youngest has this thing about ostriches. He knows he's 4 years old. He knows everything about ostriches. And I learned so much about ostriches yesterday. And he showed us how ostriches run.
Right.
And do you know that an ostrich egg is about the size of a softball, but you can stand on it? He said it's rock hard.
Wow.
And I said, Bodie, how do you know it's rock hard? Because I read it. And he's 4 years old. And I'm learning from this kid. So and it's neat to see Christmas through the eyes of a child for sure.
Somebody once said, and I don't know who, but they said Christmas chaos is that moment that you're frustrated because there's paper, everything is just, you know, Christmas is done and there's paper and everything, but it's the best chaos, and you kind of long for that chaos as you get older.
You can't kill the kids on Christmas. You can kill them any other day, but you
Not
can't
at
kill
all.
them on Christmas.
Now, Kylan is back from Colorado.
I am.
She went for Christmas in Colorado, but you also went to the Colts game.
I did. I went to the Colts and Broncos game, and I hate that our Colts lost, but everybody was ragging on me for having my Colts jersey on. So
Isn't
getting
that
to watch
funny?
the Broncos win was exciting to watch the Bronco run across the field with all the
The
flags.
real Bronco.
Yes, yeah, the white horse, beautiful stallion.
Now, is it true they sell gummies at the stadium?
I sure didn't go looking for any.
You didn't go looking?
I didn't see
I've
any.
always heard that they have some questionable things for sale at the...
I could see it.
You could see it?
Yeah, I could see it. I only got my souvenir Broncos cup from the alcohol stand, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you know, Kylan, we used to have a Colt. When the Colts
We
first
did,
came, we
that's
had a
right.
Colt
No
that would
kidding.
run, that would hang out at the end zones, right? The Colts end zone, and then when they had a touchdown, then the Colt would run out with the flag, and same thing. It was cool.
Well,
It was
why
very
not
cool.
anymore?
I don't know. Something happened after a few years. It went away. I don't know if it was just too hard to do, or I don't know. But the other thing, what was it I heard yesterday? Oh, I heard this morning. We're talking about mascots for a minute. IU is trying to get
The bison.
the
back.
bison back. I never knew there was a bison.
Well, bison can jump higher than a deer. A bison can clear an 8-foot fence from a standing stop.
Oh, they're
almost
cool,
right in
no
front.
doubt. I just
but
didn't know that IU had a bison.
I hope they
at
don't
one
try
point.
to bring a live one in, because one of those things gets loose.
Oh.
It's going to wreak
And
havoc.
when they did have, apparently this is an old thing. I didn't know that there was a bison at one time.
That it was somewhat
There
a
was.
mascot.
Yeah, somewhat a mascot, and I think was there a real one? Was there a real bison?
I don't
Kyla?
remember the real one. I remember the caricature, the red
Oh,
and white
maybe that's what I'm
caricature.
thinking.
Yeah, the bighorns.
Interesting. I just didn't know. That was a little bit of learning today. Here's something else we've learned. And if you, the tradition when you come downtown to see the lights turned on Monument Circle for the Circle of Lights, part of the tradition that I love so much is that there is, I don't know if it's a tradition or not really, but in the AES lobby, there's the most magnificent
Isn't
tree
that an unbelievable
called
tree?
Light Bright.
It's a bajillion watts, and it's been there forever.
20 years. Isn't that something? Because I thought it'd been there forever,
It's
too.
one of my favorite trees.
It's going away. This is the
Oh,
last
no.
year. This is the
Why?
last year for it. I guess because the bulbs they can't get it's wear and tear.
Oh.
And they can't find the same bulb. It's curious, isn't it, Denny?
It
I
is
don't
a
know why,
beautiful
because it seems like
tree.
you could put some new bulbs in there or something. My sister told me before they went to the LED lights that it was so hot. They were using those old bulbs,
Yeah,
on
it's
that tree
separate
on
air
Light Bright.
conditioning for it.
And it was if you stood anywhere around that tree, there was just such heat off those lights. But this is the last year for
You know
Light
how-
Bright.
do you
Go
know how
take a
much-
picture by it while you can.
Yeah, the LEDs have changed lighting so much. Light emitting diode. In other words, it gives off light without heat. And that technology has just changed the way we light things.
Yeah,
It
you're
really
right.
has.
They put those 100%, they went 100% LED lights in 2010. The tree is going to remain on display in the AES building's lobby through January 6th, and then it's gone. But a lot of people have their pictures taken in front of that tree. So we say goodbye to a tradition of sorts
real
for so many of you that love that tree too. Okay, let's see. Oh, we need to take a break. We should take a break. Are we doing angels next? Yeah, let's talk about angels. We're going to do, angel. Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to The First Day. Glad you're here. 93 WIBC.
Once again,
Service Jewelry Store.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain.
We are inundated, really, with imagery of angels this time of year. But some of you may say, do angels really exist? Do they have wings? Does everybody have a guardian angel? USA Today reports that repeating number sequences or angel numbers are often used as guides, with each numeral having its own significance. This is so interesting. And joining us now is psychic medium Linnea Starr, who has been helping people understand their angel numbers for many, many years. Linnea, it is so nice to meet you. How are you this holiday season?
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to explain the metaphysical realm. Yeah, I'm doing great. This is a beautiful spiritual time across the world, and I relish the opportunity to share some of my knowledge. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So let's start at the beginning. What is an angel number?
Okay, an angel number is a symbol. You see the same number again and again and again. And it might be a date that you're familiar with. It might be a birthday. It might be a year. But if you see the same number on a license plate, or you go into the market and you purchase your groceries and that number is on the receipt, that's the spirit world trying to connect with you to say, notice this. I'm trying to let you know that it's me. It can be a loved one in spirit. It can be, a parent, grandparent, someone that was close to you, and it also can be your own guardian angel. And interestingly enough, all the religions in the world, and there's so many beautiful ones, each religion believes that when you are born, at the moment of your birth, you are given a guardian angel by God, and that angel walks with you and tries to protect you throughout your life. So sometimes if you have an intuitive feeling about something, that's your guardian angel kind of saying, listen to this. Don't go that way. Go this way. And oftentimes it turns out that the person finds out, had they gone on the direction they were going, it wouldn't have been fortuitous. And so always listen to your intuitiveness, because that's your guardian angel kind of guiding you.
When you see that number, that reoccurring number, how do you figure out what it is trying to tell you?
Well, I'm going to say a lot of lucky sevens. Lucky sevens is always a fortuitous number in the angelic realm, and also the number 1. So if you see the number 1 someplace, and it's also, with 11, 1, 1, 1, that's a very high category of angelic message. And I think it's just to remind us that the earth life is temporary. Your earth life is just for a set time, whether you're young, middle-aged, or old. When God calls you home, your timeline on the earth is finished, but you go to eternal life. And when you take your last earthly breath, you immediately begin to take your heavenly breath. So I think it's just a reminder that, guess what? This isn't the end. The soul is eternal.
How comforting is that? When it comes to determining your angel number, what does determine your angel number?
I feel if you see the same sequence,
okay,
if you see the same set of numbers, like on an address or the license plate, or you purchase something, or you go out to eat and the ticket that comes back has that number on it, that's your angel side saying, hi, I'm here with you. Don't forget me. I'm right here. And they're giving you a little heads up. And you can ask to have signs from the other side. You can say, please send me a spiritual message, send me something. And sometimes we get the images that we ask for. And I know I was doing something this week. I donated my car to a charity. And I said to my mother, I said, Mom, it's Christmas. Tell me that you know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So the girl called me back, and at the end of the call, I thanked her, and I said, by the way, what's your name? And she said, my name is Angel. Yes, I almost fell off the couch. I said, what? She goes, yeah, I work for Cars for Kids. It's a huge company. And she said, we've never spoken before, but she said, my name is Angel. And I said, you just gave me a message from my mother. And I explained it to her, and she was in shock. She was like, what? And I said, that's what I said. So when we least expect it, they will send us something. And there is a beautiful poem out there. I don't know. You might be familiar with it. And what it is, it says, when feathers appear, angels are near. And so sometimes you'll find a white feather, a gray feather out and about. That's an angel message saying, I'm right beside you. I put the feather in your pathway so you'll know it's me.
Linnea Starr is with us. She's a psychic medium, and we're talking about angels. Do we all have one guardian angel, or are there those that maybe have several angels?
I'm going to say that I've read, and in my experience, with the afterlife, sometimes you'll get a guardian angel, as I said, when you are assigned one at your birth. But then as you go through life, there are other angels that come to you. And I believe those could be your family, a spouse, your sister. So I'm going to say when they assume their angelic form, a lot of the soul spirits don't want to leave us because they feel that they can protect you and guide you. So I would agree that there could be more than one. The one that you get when you're born, and then the ones that you acquire as you go through your life and you sadly have people go to the other side.
I've always thought, and this has just happened, when there's a death, I feel comfort when I see a cardinal. I've always connected a cardinal with an angel.
Birds are very, very spiritual messengers. I don't get the cardinal, sadly, but I get 2 mourning doves come on my porch every so often. I know it's my parents. But other people, as yourself, get the bright red cardinal, and red is the symbol of life. So I think your loved one is sending you this beautiful bird to say, look at this bird, the red of life. I still live on in another realm. So I do agree. Cardinals are very popular spiritual messengers.
It sounds like you really need to get away from the chaos and really pay attention to see the signs.
I agree. And I think if you're open, and conducive to what could come, I think you are the recipient of some amazing manifestations. And there is another song, you probably have heard it. It's called Every Time It Rains, Pennies from Heaven. So many times my clients, myself, they'll find a penny somewhere or a dime, and they'll pick the penny or the dime up and they look, and the year on the coin is a year that's got a connection to their family. So I'm going to say, when you find a penny in your path or a dime, pick it up, look at the year that it's given to you, but keep the coin because that's somebody that put that coin in your pathway to say, remember me, I haven't left you.
Linnea Starr is with us. You can connect with Linnea Starr online on her Facebook page or at LinneaStarr.com to ask questions or to set up a workshop. It's LINNEA, LinneaStarr.com. During the holidays, when we really are, as I mentioned at the beginning, inundated with angel images, during the holidays, are angel numbers and other signs more prominent, do you think?
Well, I agree. What a great observation. I feel that this is such a spiritual time all over the world. There's Christmas, there's beautiful Hanukkah, there's Kwanzaa. So I'm going to say people are in the mood to say, oh, it's so spiritual. I want to make a connection with the ones that are on the other side. So I think they're more conducive to it simply because the reason for the season. So I think, as we mentioned, if you're conducive to it, if you're open heart, open mind, you will get so many things that are mind-boggling, and you have to say to yourself, that's from my loved one, and I was expecting something, and I did receive it.
Before we let you go, tell us one more story.
I will. Oh, thank you. You're nice. A couple of years ago, I went to do a private event locally, and I didn't know them. And when I got on the porch, there was a little girl in spirit. She was about 9 years old. And she said, my family wants to connect with me. So I walked in the house. I sat down. It was all women, and I could see the father, the husband, down the hallway peeking out through the kitchen. So the little girl said, ask Mommy about her youngest child. So I said, I'm being told to ask you about a little girl, your youngest. She said, we lost our daughter from illness 2 years ago. She was 9. So there were no words. And the little girl said, wait. She said, tell Daddy I know about the Christmas ornament. It's an angel, and it has my name on it. It says Robin, R-O-B-Y-N-E. So I said that. And everybody at the table was screaming, and the father ran down the hallway. He had the ornament in his hands. He said, I just had it made out of wood. And I said, Robin, if you can tell Daddy, I'll know it's you. and I have a believer. The father is now a believer.
Linnea Starr, psychic medium. And again, you can connect with Linnea Starr online on her Facebook page or go to linneastarr.com. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
The news is next, 93 WIBC.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat with your holiday proposal just around the corner.
Welcome back to the first day, 93 WIBC. I'm Kylan Talley, Terri Stacy, and Denny Smith.
Well, Terry and Kylan, today is a special day. In studio with me is my old broadcast partner, Andy Smith. Andy is currently the Executive Director of Financial Planning at Edelman Financial Engines there on the Northeast Side. He's a CFP professional. He's currently a Certified Investment Management Analyst. And he joined me today. Andy, I've got lots of questions for you because I've been away from the investment world now for 4 years, which is a long time. But still, investing psychology and the need for us to understand it and how we approach our investments. Give me your best definition of what investment psychology might mean.
Sure. So when we look at investment psychology, we're basically looking at different biases. Some of the big ones that we see, things like confirmation bias. That's when you selectively remember events that either confirm your own view of the world or kind of negate everything that you don't necessarily, agree with.
Now, we do that in blogs all the time. If we read, liberal blogs or conservative blogs, and we think everybody thinks our way. Is that the same in investing?
Pretty much. So it's easy, it's easier to digest new information that's going to confirm your current belief. So that's why I encourage a lot of clients to force themselves to read the other side. So no matter where you reside on that political spectrum or the economic spectrum, or basically just the investing spectrum, force yourself to read on the other side. So there's confirmation bias, familiarity bias. So a lot of times people will only invest in things that they know rather than what is best. What do you know? Amazon, Starbucks, Apple. Well, there's a lot of other companies that do similar things.
That you may never have heard of.
That you may never have heard of. So if everybody flocks to what they know, then potentially the problem is there's all of these unknown or unheard of companies that are just as good, but they just completely fly under the radar all the time.
I have a lot of friends who like to talk investments with me all the time. And these last couple of years, 2023, 2024, have been pretty good years. They have this sense of invincibility that they are the world's greatest investors. Do you see that with investors at this point, just because we've had a couple of good years that think they know everything?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's this air of, like you said, invincibility. Some people do have the time, the temperament, the talent to be able to manage their own money. A lot of people don't. And just because you had one win with one investment at one point in time doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to see that again with every future investment that you have. So it's really important that people know their limitations and try to protect themselves from themselves. And so, going back to that concept of investor psychology, there's these things called reference points. And so a lot of times people will look back and identify and place too much significance on either the high point or low point. And a lot of times people will do this when they invest a large sum of money. So they make this huge bet on stock A, or they make this huge bet on investment strategy B. And so everything will come back to what that particular reference point is, as opposed to zooming out to 50,000 feet and realizing where they are in that grand scheme of things.
How important is humility? I have so many buddies that will always tell me all their winners. And after they go on for a bit, I'll say, okay, tell me about your losers. And it gets real quiet. How important is humility as an investor?
I think it's important as just a human being, right? I mean, I'm the parent of 2 teenagers, and the amount of humility that my wife and I have basically been forcibly injected into our lives is amazing. Well, that translates into a lot of different things. But you talk about these losses or asking people about their losses. People dislike losses twice as much as they like gains. And so what happens is people will end up holding on to losing investments, or they have the potential to hold on to losing investments for far too long because they think it's going to recover. And so there's pride that's built into this. There's this idea, almost hubristic thinking in terms of this could never happen to me. Why is this happening? I'm going to do everything in my power to make up for this loss. So again, it comes back to this idea. Do you have the time, the temperament, the talent to be able to do this on your own? If you do, great. Absolutely. It's fantastic that you have this. It's something to do. However, you have to be mindful that your job is to not be a burden on your family. And your job is to do everything in your power not to put yourself or your family in a position where you're blowing up your money.
When I first started investing in the 70s, I found that there weren't very many vehicles. We had blue chip stocks, which is where I did most of my investing. I also got involved with cash value life insurance, which was an investment vehicle that made a lot of sense to me as a bond portfolio. But the investment vehicles have changed a lot. You and I started a store called the Mutual Fund Store. What are the investment vehicles of choice right now for a lot of investors?
I think what people see a lot of, what people are familiar with, would be exchange traded funds, basically baskets of investments, be they stocks, bonds, different trading strategies that will trade throughout the market day. So when the market opens, the price will change throughout the day, as opposed to mutual funds, which there's one price at the end of the day, everything marks to market. So you have exchange traded funds. A lot of times people, their sole investment in their portfolio is their 401k. So a lot of times if you are a participant of a very large company or a large company's 401k, you might have what appear to be mutual funds or what appear to be some sort of exchange traded funds. They're really not. They are proprietary investments that only exist within that very large 401k plan, but they still do the same thing.
Are they as efficient as
absolutely.
the ETFs?
They're incredibly efficient. They oftentimes have fees as low as 5 basis points, 10 basis points, and so they are able to do that because they get the economy of scale because it's for this gigantic 401k plan. But it's basically the same thing. It is a large company stock fund. So instead of you going out and buying one magical investment that happens to be a large company stock, you go out and buy an S&P 500 index fund, or you go out and purchase an institutional index fund inside your 401k that just has these massive positions.
Andy, we're coming up at the end of the year. I hear on air so many things about don't forget your required minimum distribution. Don't forget that it's a good time to do some rebalancing. As a professional, what do you see the end of the year? What should the emphasis be on at the end of the year?
People have so much else on their mind. They have so many other things that they're trying to deal with. You pretty much named it. If you are of required minimum distribution age, typically right now, if you were born in the 50s or earlier, your RMD age is 73. If you're born in the 60s or later, you're looking at 75. So if you have to start taking, or if you are taking your required minimum distribution, you need to make sure that you're taking that distribution. Other than that, I really, encourage people not to try to take on too much here by the end of the year, because there's all these other things. Now, at the beginning of the year, what do you want to look at? You want to basically try to start in January and force yourself to act to determine how much you need to be saving. Look at your debt load. What's the allocation? Probably review the beneficiaries. If something happens to you, who is set to receive these dollars?
How many times have you had a divorced individual come in and find out that he's never changed, or he or she have never changed their beneficiaries, and it's their ex? Do you see that very often?
I can remember one in particular. I had to excuse myself from the meeting because things got a little tense there inside. But that's what you want to avoid. Or, you're seeing situations where every family's different. Some families, all the kids are equal. Some families, some of the kids have some issues. And so you want to make sure that you're not doing anything to put any additional burden on the family that really doesn't need to be there. A lot of times it just comes down to how much do you have coming in? How much do you have going out? How much are you saving, and what sorts of investment positions do you have? If you can get your arms around what those pieces are, then other things will be a little bit easier to fall into place.
That's Andy Smith, along with Denny Smith, his dad, the father-son duo.
I miss those days.
In investing for our special investing cents, dollars and cents. Oh gosh, I can't get it right to save my soul. I'm full of cookies. Okay, we're going to take just a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Andy, Denny, sit still. More when we return to the first day on 93 WIBC.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home.
It's 11:49. A very special edition of Dollars and Cents. We've got Andy Smith here, along with his dad, Denny Smith. Denny?
Any suggestions for folks who are now dealing with aging parents? There's helicopter children who come in and want to do everything, just like there's helicopter parents when kids are in school. There's know-it-all kids who want to take over for their parents immediately, and yet you want to maintain some dignity for the elderly. Do you have any suggestions on how to approach when you begin to be concerned about whether their money and their finances are being handled properly?
What I encourage people to do is not necessarily to insert themselves into the process and take over everything. I like people to think of themselves or to explain to the aging parent that this is your money, these are your assets. My job is to help you as much as possible feel comfortable with what's going on. So I like people to kind of explain themselves as being more of a financial speed bump to the decision-making process. This is your money. You can do whatever you want with it, within reason, but it's helpful to have that person to be able to bounce things off of. So a lot of times when you're dealing with aging parents, most of what I see is that at the beginning there's two aging parents. And then eventually there's one. And so a lot of the issues come when there's only the one parent, because typically in the past, those two parents could have the conversation back and forth, right? They had that kind of sounding board. Well, when one person is gone, then the next generation becomes the sounding board. And that's when I like people to kind of explain themselves as that being that financial speed bump. You can do what you want with your money. I'm not going to tell you that you can't do things, but you need to be able to talk with somebody about this and have that kind of third party view of what's happening. Otherwise, we hear all these horror stories of older people getting these phone calls from people that they say are their grandchildren, or they say that they're friends and they need money and can you send this, or all of the issues where, I was on the computer and this window came up and so I clicked this and then all of a sudden my computer was taken over and I lost everything, or I had to send all of this money to these other people, or all of these different kind of senior fraud sorts of situations. Having somebody in your life to act as that financial speed bump, act as that kind of sounding board, it's not like there won't be any problems ever, but it really starts to help to lessen the severity of those problems going forward.
Well, we've talked about aging parents. What about young kids? You and I grew up with parents that tried to teach and instill basic saving habits, spending wisely, giving. Remember when we did the banks, saving, spending, investing. What suggestions do you have for kids to bring them into the fold of being wise investors?
I think that there's a couple of things with our kids. When they turned 14, we said, look, you're going to get a job. So that either meant front of house at a place like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. We were lucky enough to have them work at the hardware store. So now Marin is in front, Jonah's just grunt work in the back. But with each paycheck, then we've been very methodical about how much goes to saving and how much goes to spending. And
is there any grousing?
They may, but you don't listen. You just kind of tune that out. So it's not necessarily the spend, save, share, the 10, 10, 80. From the very beginning, I basically said 50% is going to savings. 50% you're going to be able to spend. And so if you want more to spend, then you work more. This is not some sort of negotiation about the
Where did you learn that? Was I a bad guy?
Probably not you. Okay. And so to the extent that they can just have that kind of brought into their life at an early age, there's a number of different tools. There's different apps. There's different spending utilities. There's different credit cards that you can have. There's no one magic bullet or silver bullet that's going to help solve all these problems. I think to the extent that you can help the children understand that just because you earn X doesn't mean that you spend X. It's going to be some fraction of that. And so it comes down to, from the very beginning, save as much as you can for as long as you can, and then you just make that work.
Tell me how kids look at cash money. I brought you up based on cash. My father brought me up on cash. My paper route, everything was done in cash. That's not the case anymore. So what's it like raising teenagers knowing that they're not really going to be dealing with cash money?
So it's different. I always have walking around money. It's different in that it's still the same concept. They still have the ability to spend as they need. It's just the delivery vehicle of that exchange of wealth is just totally different. When we traveled last summer, and we were in a place where we saw all these people with Apple Pay. I mean, you're doing it on the phone. Obviously, it's done, right? It's done in more and more, circumstances and situations. Well, here I was, we were traveling. I had this cash. Not all these places took cash. And so you still had it, but you were using cards or Apple Pay or anything else. It's just different. I think it goes back to the idea of make sure that you have what you need. I always try to tell the kids, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So it could be that safety money that's folded up tightly in your wallet that you never get to. It could be just stuff that you have in the glove box of the car, whatever it is. I mean, cash is king. Cash will always spend, but we're not seeing that as the regular form of wealth transfer. So it's cards, it's phones, it's scan, all those different things.
Is there a concept of value to teenagers that a $20 spend on their phone looks like a $200 spend, looks like a $2,000 spend, whereas when we spend with cash, we have a $20 bill or a $50 bill or a $100 bill. It's pretty visual, and conceptually, you digest that fairly quickly as a child. What's it like when it's all digits?
I don't think it's age related. I think that's why we see what we see with all of the online shopping. I mean, how easy is it to go online and to purchase what you need with one click, maybe 2 clicks, and then it's done? The business's role is to make it as easy as possible to transact business on that site. And so they don't necessarily want you to know where that decimal point resides. It's not age, right? It's not teaching a teenager to do this, because there are 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds, there's 80-year-olds who don't really understand how easy it is to spend that money. So yes, when you have to count out the bills, when you feel the wad in your pocket go from a certain, thickness down to a much thinner thickness, that's a tangible change. But until you see the credit card balance once a month, and again, that'll change as more and more people have apps. They look at the balances much more regularly, but it's very easy. Companies make it very easy to see how much you have. They don't make it easy all the time to see how much you owe. And that, I think, is part of the problem.
Andy, do you have any final words for me?
We always used to say this at the end of the old radio show, and I think it's important that people remember this, not just at this time of year, but really just throughout the year. It's important that people remember that money isn't everything. It's just that having money makes things so much easier in life. And what really matters is the people around you. Those people are worth $1 million, and your job is to remind them of that at every single chance that you get. So, Merry Christmas. Remember this. Do good. Be a good person. All that other stuff. But just remember, we get one chance at this. Just really try to do your best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Denny and Andy Smith. Thank you.
He's a good kid.
Great job.
I think he's smarter. He gets his smarts from his mother.
Well,
he sounds a lot like you.
He's got a lot of you and a lot of her.
Yeah.
You both of you. Thank you for doing that for us. Listen, we just would like to say that if you're watching us on YouTube, we're streaming live.
I want to shout out to Libertarian Dragon and Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie Williams. These guys are hilarious when they get to racking on each other.
Well, I think they might have a little bit of a crush on Kylan.
They're going through a debate right now, trying to guess my age. Well, let me tell you, I could be Denny's granddaughter, if that helps you. And one of the arguments was Freddie saying, Kylan told me I was way hotter than you, Libertarian Dragon. I don't know.
It's so cute.
If you're a dragon, I'd say that's a little hot.
93 WIBC on the YouTube if you want to watch it.
We appreciate it. All right. We've got another hour to go and hope you can stick around. And before we head into the newsroom, I just want to mention if you're a single or widowed woman, the statistics, they really aren't in your favor.
They're ugly.
They are ugly because you run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. Terri Stacy with you. And the last thing that you want to be is 80 years old and full of life and flat broke. But you can discover the strategies that can ensure you never run out of money in retirement with my friend Bill Demery. He's your retirement guy right here in Indy. I know Bill. I trust Bill. He's helped my parents, and he understands all the different options to generate income in retirement. And he's helped thousands of people right here in Indy. So call Bill right now at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. You will not go wrong when you talk to Bill. I really mean it. He's helped me for a long time now. Give him a call. That's 317-349-5212. Thanks for joining us here on the first day. News is next.
It's the holiday season. Time to celebrate the moment and save. That means a trip to Barrington Jewels in Clearwater.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A home was in flames. It's 31 degrees and mostly sunny. High of 37 is likely in downtown Indy. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 12:03. Firefighters in Hancock County say a house fire killed a man. It also injured another person and a firefighter, which the firefighter just got out of the hospital from their minor injuries. It happened early Sunday in Maxwell, which is north of Greenfield. Firefighters are not sure how the fire started, and they are looking into this. The Social Security Fairness Act recently passed the U.S. Senate. Sasha Nixon reports on what one Hoosier leader had to say about it.
Indy Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder said the act specifically thanked National FOP President Patrick Yose, President-elect Donald Trump, and Hoosier Senator Mike Braun for helping get the bill to President Biden's desk. Essentially, former first responders and some other professionals are not eligible for full Social Security benefits, largely because of their pensions. This bill would change how much retirees receive. But Snyder noted that cops will remember Senator Todd Young's decision to vote against it. Sasha Nixon, 93. WYBC Mobile News.
The season is over for the Indiana Hoosier football team. They fell to Notre Dame Friday night in the college football playoff 27-17. Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti said Notre Dame deserves a lot of credit.
You know, it's easy to say we didn't play our best game, but a lot of that was probably because of who we played.
Indiana won 11 games this year, which set a single-season school record for victories. Notre Dame moves on to face Georgia in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. WIBC News Time 12:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Sunny skies for today. Our high temperatures getting into the mid-30s tonight. Partly cloudy skies remain in place. Low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Big Joe here for your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical. This holiday season, if you need them, they'll be there. BPlusW.com or 317-243-3581. For all your heating, plumbing, and electrical needs, B&W has served Indianapolis since 1961. 243-3581. That's 243-3581. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your friends at B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer serving Central Indiana.
What is 988?
It's a free 24-hour suicide and crisis lifeline.
And what is a crisis?
Maybe something you experience so often.
You don't even think it's a crisis.
Anxiety over money.
A stressful relationship.
Concerns about a loved one's mental health.
If you are experiencing thoughts of suicide or mental health or substance use crisis, call or text 988.
It's a listening ear.
And it's a way forward.
It's 12:06. We're opening presents again.
Oh, oh, oh,
For a little Kylan.
Was that fun or
So
what?
stinking sweet.
We are having a great time. Kylan got from Denny. She got the most smartest gift, and it is a what, Denny? What is that?
It's a tripod for your personal phone, and it's got a Bluetooth trigger, so you can actually take pictures from a little clicker. And it's really cool.
This is a great idea. I'm always roping them in to take pictures with me and have to set it up on a random little stand and hit the timer button. No need anymore. Denny's taking care of me.
That's right. And then I got her a little crossbody, the phone carrier that you can just carry your phone, because a lot of times you just want a crossbody and you just want to carry your phone. You don't
I
have
wear that
pockets,
on the
you're wearing a
lawnmower.
dress.
When I'm mowing grass and the 4 acres or whatever it is, and you're bouncing around, you don't lose your
Kinda
phone.
nice.
And it says be kind.
And it says be kind.
God.
And then the other present is she's the biggest Indy 11 fan I've ever known. And look, but they don't even come in Kylan's size. It's a small. And she's like
I've got an Indy 11
3X small
long sleeve shirt now.
Yeah,
to wear to the games.
Now, see, that's for 2 layers, too. That's a good,
2 layers.
That's a good winter 2-layer. Nice sweater on top
This is
or whatever.
awesome. Go boys in blue.
We love you, Kylan. We love you, love
Thank
you, love
so
you.
much.
What's
Merry
the signature
Christmas.
at the top? What's that say?
Nothing. Oh, it's just
okay.
a city skyline, and then it's a...
Oh, I see. It looked like a signature. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Beautiful. Hey, you know what? I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Before you say anything more,
Oh.
I know. I just want to mention that, what was it, Kylan? Oh, it was about Festival of Carols. This is going on. If you're looking for something to do today, this is just the most wonderful experience. It's the Indianapolis Symphonic Choir's 34-year holiday tradition, Festival of Carols. They've got 2 more shows today at 3 at the Palladium and then tomorrow at 7:30. And I spoke with the Assistant Artistic Director, Michael Davis, last week, Debbie Knox. is doing to us the night before
my
Christmas.
gosh.
So it's kind of a special deal. You can get your tickets at IndyChoir.org for tickets. Again, today and tomorrow, 2 more shows. The Lawrence Central High School Central Sound is a part of it, the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra, and so much more. And it's just a really wonderful way to, turn off your phone and sit and listen to just some beautiful music.
I don't want to take anything away from Debbie Knox, but if you've never heard Clark W. Griswold do The Night Before Christmas in Christmas Vacation,
right.
It is one of the greatest.
It is one of the greatest. Denny's going to do his rendition of A Cup of Christmas Tea, which is an old-timey poem that we heard years ago on WIBC, and it played every year. And it's written by Tom Haig. And Denny does a rendition of it, and we're going to play that for you next.
And some of our listeners have been asking,
They
so
have.
just stay tuned.
You
You'll
just
get
stay
it.
tuned. It's a very thoughtful, old-timey thing that you're going to love. All right, now, Kylan, you were trying to tell me something.
I'm in the Christmas cheer. I'm in the Christmas mood, spirit. Can we call Santa?
Do you have his number?
Call Santa?
Yeah, call Santa.
Let's call Santa.
You don't have his number?
Oh, okay.
Let's call
him.
It's the hotline for. He's obviously a very busy man this time of year. So
let's call Denny. It'll be fun.
No, works
Come
for
on.
me.
His
Do you know
voicemail.
what you're going to ask him? What do you want for?
Well, I'm going to tell him I want a miniature donkey.
Are you serious?
I really do.
Terri.
We were
Hopefully you can
talking
come up with
yesterday
something a
about
little better.
that present that you didn't get from
Okay,
Santa.
okay.
Is it time? Okay.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
This is Santa Claus.
Hi, Santa.
And you have reached my personal hotline.
Oh.
We have been very busy making
voicemail?
all of those toys to deliver on
busy.
Christmas morning.
It's
And I
voicemail.
want you to know that your family loves you very much.
Right.
And so do I.
Oh, yeah.
So be good. And don't forget to always listen to your parents. When you hear the tone, please leave me your Christmas gift wishes and holiday cheer.
Okay, Kylan, you got to go
remember,
first when we
kids,
hear the tone.
I know who's been naughty and nice. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon.
Hi, Santa. Hold on. We've got a message for you. Go, Kylan.
Hi, Santa. This is Kylan from Indianapolis. Can I have world peace? No.
Oh,
Okay.
Kylan.
Okay.
I love that one. Hurry.
Denny's probably on the naughty list. Can you just make him less naughty?
Oh, that's a good one.
Does that
Hey,
count?
Santa, she's a born liar. I'm a really good boy.
Tell him who you are.
I'm Denny Paul.
You sit on
you
a
remember
throne of
me. You
lies.
brought me Snickers one year. Snickers was my puppy, and he brought me Snickers. But here's what I want. I want a politician who does not lie. I want a city and a state leader who tells the truth and does what's best for other people besides themselves. I don't like them, Santa.
And
That's
a happy
Denny
New
Smith.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's Terry from Indianapolis, or Indianapolis. I'm so nervous. WIBC is where we're calling you from. And I just want a miniature donkey. Okay, we'll see you on Christmas Eve.
She
Thanks,
doesn't know that
Frank.
miniature donkeys poop
Okay,
big
bye.
piles. Miniature donkeys still have
That was
big
so
piles,
fun.
Terry.
No, they're more like a big dog.
No, you're going to be muck and bucket. Do you know what muck and a bucket is?
No.
That's a little rake where you pick up the piles from your miniature donkey, and they're not so miniature.
Denny, I hope your wish comes true.
Me too.
We'll see you in the new year.
Yeah,
I just
good.
want to mention, can I mention one more thing too?
Oh, please.
Because this is about the animals.
Oh.
You know I love the animals.
Don't guilt me up. Don't
Like
guilt me
adopting
up.
some over the holidays?
Indy Humane wants us to know that if you have a little extra room for a guest over the holidays, and they're calling it their holiday pajama party foster
that's funny.
program. So there's a lot of pets, hundreds of pets, they say, are ready for the holidays. They want to spend time making memories with you. So Indy Humane is asking animal lovers to open their hearts and their homes and give the animals a little break from their kennels. And they get sad too. So, and their kennels are small. And so if you can just take them for the holidays and just foster them for the holidays, that would be so helpful. You can there's 2 different foster programs. You can take a pet in for 2-day periods, either Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, or New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So indyhumane.org is where you'll go.
79th and Michigan Road if you want to go over there.
Thank you. And the Humane Society for Hamilton County also doing the same kind of holiday sleepovers. HamiltonHumane.com. All right. Coming up, a cup of Christmas tea with Denny Smith on the first day on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from our agency, your Indiana Health Insurance Pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We've recently saved a
Christmas, and here is a cup of Christmas tea by Tom Haig. The log was in the fireplace, all spiced and set to burn. At last, the yearly Christmas race was in the clubhouse turn. The cards were in the mail, all the gifts beneath the tree, and 30 days reprieve till Visa could catch up with me. Though smug satisfaction seemed the order of the day, something still was nagging me and just would not go away. A week before, I got a letter from my old great-aunt. It read, "Of course, I'll understand completely if you can't, but if you could have some time, how wonderful if we could have a little chat and share a cup of Christmas tea." She'd had a mild stroke that year, which crippled her left side. Though housebound now, my folks had said it hadn't hurt her pride. They said, "She'd love to see you. What a nice thing it would be for you to go and maybe have a cup of Christmas tea." But boy, I didn't want to go. Oh, what a bitter pill. To see an old relation and how far she'd gone downhill. I remembered her as vigorous, as funny, and as bright. I remembered Christmas Eves when she regaled us half the night. I didn't want to risk all that. I didn't want the pain. I didn't need to be depressed. I didn't need the strain. And what about my brother? Why not him? She's his aunt, too. I thought I had it justified, but then, before I knew, the reasons not to go I so painstakingly had built were cracking wide and crumbling in an acid rain of guilt. I put on boots and gloves and cap, shame stinging every pore, and armed with squeegee, sand, and map, I went out my front door. I drove in from the suburbs to the older part of town. The pastels of the newer homes gave way to gray and brown. I had that disembodied feeling as the car pulled up and stopped beside the wooden house that held the Christmas cup. How I got up to her door, I really couldn't tell. I watched my hand rise up and press the button of the bell. I waited, aided by my nervous rocking to and fro, and just as I was thinking I should turn around and go, I heard the rattle of the china in the hutch against the wall. The triple beat of 2 feet and a crutch came down the hall. The clicking of the door latch, the sliding of the bolt, and a little swollen struggle popped it open with a jolt. She stood there pale and tiny, looking fragile as an egg. I forced myself from staring at the brace that held her leg. And though her thick bifocals seemed to crack and spread her eyes, their milky and refracted depths lit up with young surprise. "Come in, come in." She laughed the words. She took me by the hand, and all my fears dissolved away as if by her command. We went inside, and then before I knew how to react, before my eyes and ears and nose was Christmas alive and intact. The scent of candied oranges, of cinnamon and pine, of antique wooden soldiers in their military line. The porcelain nativity I'd always loved so much. The Dresden and the crystal I'd been told I mustn't touch. My spirit fairly bolted like a child out of class and danced among the ornaments of calico and glass. Like magic, I was 6 again, deep in a Christmas spell, steeped in the million memories that the boy inside knew well. And here among old Christmas cards so lovingly displayed, a special place of honor for the ones we kids had made. And there beside her rocking chair, the center of it all, my great aunt stood and said how nice it was that I'd come to call. I sat and rattled on about the weather and the flu. She listened pretty patiently, then smiled and said, "What's new?" Thoughts and words began to flow. I started making sense. I lost the phony breeziness I used when I get tense. She was still passionately interested in everything I did. She was positive, encouraging, like when I was a kid. Simple generalities still sent her into fits. She demanded the specifics, the particulars, the bits. We talked about the limitations that she'd had to face, and she spoke with utter candor and with humor and good grace. Then, defying the reality of crutch and straightened knee, on wings of hospitality, she flew to brew the tea. I sat alone with feelings I hadn't felt in years. I looked around at Christmas through a thick, hot blur of tears. And the candles and the holly she'd arranged on every shelf, the impossibly good cookies she still somehow baked herself. But these rich and tactile memories became quite pale and thin when measured by the Christmas my great aunt kept deep within. Her body halved and nearly spent, but my great aunt was whole. I saw a Christmas miracle, a triumph of a soul. The triple beat of 2 feet and a crutch came down that hall. The rattle of the china and the hutch against the wall. She poured 2 cups. She smiled, and then she handed one to me. And then we settled back and had a cup of Christmas tea. Merry Christmas.
Wow. I didn't turn my mic on. Did you like that?
I guess I had never heard of it before. I'm speechless.
She's speechless. It is such a beautiful story. It really is, and it does hit home when you really listen to it, because you remember when you were a kid and going to see an elderly aunt, uncle, grandparent.
To my knowledge, Tom Haig only performed that one time, and it was at a Christmas service.
Yeah.
How he got through that.
It is beautifully written. Again,
It was
Thomas
really
Haig,
tough.
Tom Haig is the author of that book. I remember Cynthia's Hallmark sold that book
Yep.
years ago, and they couldn't keep it in stock. And it was just one of these things that we played every year.
It's really hard
and it was,
to find a copy
It's hard
of
to
it.
find a copy of it
Yeah.
now, but it is, and I know it may sound kind of old-fashioned or whatever, but we just loved it. I loved it, and our listeners used to love it so much, too. All right.
Thank you, Denny.
Thank you, Denny is right for doing that for
And
us.
thanks to Sean Matthews, who put the bed underneath that. It only took me 6 tries to cut that thing.
Well, it's a lot.
I kept crying.
Well, it must have hit home somehow to you. Beautiful piece. And again, thank you, Denny, for doing it. It is 12:24. A lot of tailgaters out there this morning.
Oh
in
my gosh, they were
downtown
out there
Indianapolis.
early in
Out
the
there
cold.
earlier, they got their fires going and
The
their
Coons
food's
boys
cooking.
stopped in here, Landon and his daddy, and they're heading off.
They're heading off today too. It is 12:24. We were going to do. Have we got time? Play a little game.
Yeah, we can
Want
do
to?
a little rendition of it.
Okay, Denny, get ready. Kylan's put together a little holiday game for us too. You know, she comes up with good ones. Here we go.
We loved the Bible verse versus a Taylor Swift song lyric, and so we're doing a different version of that Bible verse or a Christmas song lyric.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Uh-huh.
I'll start you off easy.
All right.
All is calm, all is bright.
All is calm, all is bright. That's a Christmas song.
That's a Christmas song.
Oh yeah, easy. It's Silent Night.
Beautiful.
How would you not get that? Okay, I bring
She's
you.
sucking us in. She's going to nail us here, Terry. I can feel it. All right, Kai.
I bring you good news of great joy
That's
that will
the
be for
Bible.
all the people.
That's a
the
Bible.
Luke 2:10. Great work. Great
Yay!
work. Yay!
Got it, Denny.
We're 2 for 2.
We're doing good.
Again.
Glory to God in the highest, and on whoa. Let me restart that. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men.
I think that's a song.
No, that's Bible.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's
Are you
Bible.
sure?
Are you sure?
Well, I'd say the Bible.
I think it's a Christmas song.
It's a Bible verse.
All right.
Oh,
Luke 2:14.
Yeah.
Luke
Oh,
2:14.
my gosh, I'm sorry, God. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, golly.
I'm trying.
This is how we
Here we go.
Said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say.
That's,
Pray
that's a hymn.
for
That's a
peace.
song, anyway.
Listen to what I say.
Little drummer boy.
One of my favorites. Whitney Houston does this song.
This is-
oh my God.
But this is Robert Goulet.
It's Robert Goulet.
Yeah, I think so.
This is Bing Crosby.
Is it?
This is Bing Crosby?
Yeah, he did so many. He's an icon.
It's Bing. It's not who you think it is. It's not Whitney Houston. I know that. I know.
All right, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and and the power of the Most High will overshadow you.
That's a Bible verse.
That's a Bible verse.
Wow.
That's the angel talking to Mary.
Yes. Yep. Luke 1:35.
Got it.
King
Got it.
forever, King forever, seizing never over all us to reign.
Beautiful.
That's a song that might be from Handel's Messiah. I don't know.
I think it's a song too.
Yeah. We three kings.
I bring to crown him again. King forever, ceasing never.
Great work, guys.
She's
See,
even
that
got
is much
bumps
easier.
behind
Well
us.
done.
She's good.
Well done.
Hey.
Well done.
Very good.
Between the two of us, we have half a brain.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas indeed.
Merry Christmas indeed. Coming up in the next half hour, those candy canes, that tradition of the candy cane, well, they're made right here in central Indiana. Many of them have been made for decades and decades, and we're going to check in with the owner of an incredible little candy store down in Martinsville and maybe play some more games too. I know I'd like to get Paul Harvey in, but I don't think I am. We'll do that maybe next week. All right, let's take a break. You're listening to The First Day on 93 WIBC.
By golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
It's the first day on 93 WIBC. Terri Stacy, Denny Smith, Kyle and Tally producing today's show. Christmas fun fact. A fruitcake properly prepared and stored will last 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
It will be in the nuclear bunkers for decades.
I think that did better than the dinosaurs.
There's nothing worse
the
than a
case.
bad fruitcake. Good fruitcakes, they're moist. You know, my aunt Fanny used to wrap them up with whiskey, from Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
And those were just great. She'd wrap them up in cheesecloth. But boy, when they get dry, they're like bricks.
They're very heavy.
Ugh.
In Slovakia, it is a tradition to keep Christmas carp in the family bathtub for a few days before they are eaten. Before adopting turkey, the traditional Christmas meal in England was a pig's head covered with mustard.
You're killing me, Tara.
Are these supposed to be?
I'm trying to imagine the carp.
These
So,
are not-
when are you supposed to take a shower? I guess you take a shower and the water go down on a carp. I'm not sitting in a tub
I
with a
guess you
carp.
just put it in the guest bathroom. You're not using it.
Live
so
or
you
dead?
put it in
Yeah,
there.
hopefully family's not
Doesn't say if
visiting.
it's live or dead. And probably that's what they have is Christmas carp. So they keep the carp in the...
No man alive would sit in a bathtub with a carp. No man alive.
Paul McCartney earns about $400,000 every year from his song Wonderful Christmas Time.
Wow.
A lot of money. And that concludes our first day fun facts. However, I will share with you, recently posted, a new study conducted by online casino experts Play USA, looking at Indiana and our favorite Christmas song. And our favorite Christmas song here in Indiana is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
And
I hate that song.
I love it.
Do you know how much that earned last year?
No.
Or it was since she sung it, she's earned $64 million from that song.
We still love it. It's our favorite Christmas song here
What's
in Indiana.
this we, Kemosabe?
Well, the research. The second most popular, they probably called you and answer hello, and they say, hey, we're just doing a survey.
Indiana should be Jingle Bell Rock. I mean,
You would think.
because that was composed here.
Not even on the list. Second most
Or
popular
even
Christmas
Indiana
song.
Christmas by Straight No Chasers.
Oh, my favorite.
I love it.
Christmas song favorite. The most popular Christmas song is Silent Night by Michael Bublé. That's second. Fourth and fifth place are Last Christmas by Wham and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee.
Wow.
In fifth place.
No Feliz Navidad?
Nope.
Jose Felicio?
Nope.
Okay, I'm just crunching some numbers right now. All I Want for Christmas Is You was written and recorded in 1994. That's 5 years before I was born. So theoretically, if I was out of the womb, made this song, I would be set for life off that
That's
one
right.
song.
$64 million.
In my whole lifetime.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
I know it.
And you wouldn't have
she's
to
still
dance
going.
around and jiggle. I mean,
Man,
that's, yeah.
Queen of Christmas. And you know what? She's kicking off the NFL Christmas Day broadcast
She
on
sure
Netflix. With Beyonce as the
Because
halftime
it's still
show.
the most popular song. I liked it for a minute, but I just am done with it. It's not my favorite Christmas song.
You know what?
Huh.
Can we do a game?
Let's play a game. Denny, sit back.
All right, I'm sitting back.
No.
Grab your wassail.
Negative.
Wait a minute, I can't do that on radio.
We used to have an ag guy that
Well,
was
him
here.
and Nigel do it.
Yeah, the camera's now on Kylan. Okay.
Okay. We used to
All
have
right.
a guy that worked here. He was so cool, and I just loved him. He was a great reporter, ag guy, and he's gone to heaven by now, but he used to bring in the strongest wassail ever, and it just cooked in a crock pot. And everybody come by and get a little wassail, and by the time noon hit, I mean, everybody was crawling.
Pretty much wassailed.
To get wassail is potent. I don't know what's in it, but it's potent. Okay, Kylan, play the game.
Okay.
Here we go.
I've loved all of the different versions of Finish That Lyric. And
Oh,
so
everybody's doing it,
We
right.
should take our hand at it. And
Okay.
we were testing out our vocal cords going into the segment. So, Danny, I have a feeling you should participate.
Okay.
Get ready,
Let's
Danny.
hear it.
You
Let's
love
hear
singing.
your
Come
Christmas
on.
caroling. And ironically, the first one that I had up on was All I Want for Christmas Is You. So let's test your lyric knowledge.
God.
How about?
Here we go.
We're starting easy. Ready?
Here we go.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah!
It's kind of high.
I'm so proud of you, Denny. Good.
Well,
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I don't like this song.
Okay,
of course,
okay,
they don't see me on camera, but I got the shimmy going over here.
You sure do have the shimmy. See, now you wish you had the camera.
I wish you had it too. You just get to see my reindeer and my jingle bell.
Get to the
sweatshirt.
jingle.
in my
can't be
little
jingling
Christmas
those
hat
things
that
on
Terri Stacy. All right.
That's right.
Okay, you mentioned Christmas Vacation earlier, so an iconic song from it.
That's a good one.
Mele-Kalikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
That's
Mele-Kalikimaka is a way to go. And singing it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Is that the words?
3 more days to Christmas. 3 more days to Christmas. No, those are not the words.
What was it, Kylan?
From the land where palm trees sway, here we know that Christmas will be green.
Let's move on.
Who sings that song?
Well, that was Bing Crosby.
Yeah, that one was Bing Crosby.
I love it.
Spelling Mele-Kalikimaka. Wow.
Well, here's the thing.
I have to sing it to say it.
What was going on in Christmas Vacation while that song was being sung?
A fun dream.
The Playboy Bunny who tried to sell him the panties at the counter was disrobing on his imaginary swimming
don't
pool.
forget about Cousin Eddie.
Oh, Cousin Eddie was up there too.
Why do we always have to have somebody disrobe in every movie?
Hey.
That wasn't necessary.
Terri?
She didn't have
Especially
to,
for a Christmas.
She did not. Nobody
It's
needed
not
that
necessary. It's just appreciated. Come on. Merry Christmas to you too, Terri.
How did Matt put Okay, Matt Vermillion put it pretty well. Priorities and then
That's
prerogatives.
right. Thank you, Matthew.
In the YouTube chat. Well, Okay, next one.
Okay.
I called it out earlier, so I have to give it a little bit more love.
Okay.
The old and the young come together.
Straight No Chaser, Indiana Christmas.
And we sing into the night.
Oh my gosh, I love this song.
Indiana. That's where I'm going. This time of year, you know how I feel.
Back home again. In India. I really don't know the song. It's beautiful though.
Kylan, can we just play that song for now and just go into the break? I only get to hear
that's
this
a
one
chicken
time.
weaseling out of not.
Jenny, this is the most beautiful song,
Oh, okay.
and it just
really
touches my heart. Please go ahead, Kylan.
the-
Into the break. Just take it into the break.
What?
I want to hear the whole
thing-
song.
Okay, you know what? Straight No Chaser deserves that love. You're right.
I love this.
You know what? My next Christmas present will be seeing them in concert. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
me
what'll
too.
be on my wish list for Santa.
That's a good one.
The moonlight shines on the sycamores, and now they're calling to me.
Oh my gosh.
Good job, Kai.
In the city, it's snowing, the sidewalks closed.
We listened to this last year.
If you're watching on 93 WIBC on the YouTube channel, you get to see Kylan mouth the words and then sway.
I'm an elf at heart. What can I say?
This is just so Indiana.
I'm gonna spend winter my way. I'll get on the highway. I'm ready to find
Here we
a
go.
way
This makes me want to cry.
I know it.
That's where I'm going.
We could be our own Straight No Chaser.
Time of year, you know
Acapulco.
how I feel. That's where I'm going. Where Christmas will always be real.
Oh my gosh.
Good job.
I love it so much. The amount of credit they give.
Are you going
I
to
love
try to
it.
go see him here around Christmas time?
Oh,
They
it's
do have
over.
a concert in Chicago. Oh, maybe that was last week.
It was. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
It was old. They usually go to Old National, so I don't know if they're going to Old National or not. But they do it totally a cappella.
There's nothing prettier. And this song is just so special.
You know what? They are. Oh my gosh, that's tonight.
Is it
It's at 3
tonight?
p.m. in Chicago. All right, guy, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Go away. Don't. I gotta go into a break. It's 12:42, 93. Oh fuck! Candy Cane's coming up next. 93 WIBC.
And some Demery. Let's talk some Demery, shall we?
You know what, Kylan? Thank you for reminding me. I was so emotional for a minute. I mean, I love that song. Yeah, before we get into the break, if you are a single or a widowed woman, you know the statistics really aren't in your favor because you run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than really any man or married couple. It's Terri Stacy, and the last thing that you want to be is 80 years old and full of life and flat broke. Discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. I know Bill. Trust Bill. He's my retirement guy, my mom's retirement guy, and he understands all the different things and options to actually generate that income in retirement. He's helped thousands of people right here in Indy. So my suggestion is to call Bill. And you can call him right now, 317-349-5212. You'll be glad you did it. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Thanks for listening here to The First Day on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
A good cow is a dead cow.
What?
Wow.
Candy Canes. It is 12:48. Terri Stacy along with Denny Smith and Kyle and Tally. Denny?
Well, it's been busy here on the 93 WIBC YouTube chat. My thanks to Libertarian Dragon, Nicholas Lott. Let's see who else is on here. Matt Vermillion, Freddie Williams, You guys are funny, you know? Yeah, and I thought the funny one was they wanted to know if Terry was single.
I was so happy. I was so touched.
Yeah.
I loved it. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And the questions I love. Thank you.
And yes, Kylan is hot.
Kylan is hot. Kylan is also
Actually, I'm pretty cold being an elf.
Yeah.
I'm an elf at the zoo, I guess, tomorrow, and then only 2 more days.
2 more days?
Till you're done with your job.
Christmas is
3 days
Wednesday.
away.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's really soon. And, you know, part of the traditions that we have is candy and food. And candy canes has such a great history. And Kylan, you got a very special guest from
We
Martinsville.
do. The Martinsville Candy Kitchen. We have co-owner John Badger. John, thank you so much for joining.
No problem.
You're awesome. Tell us a little bit of the history of Martinsville Candy Kitchen, because you've been here around over 100 years.
It will be 106 April 1st of next year. So.
Oh my gosh, April Fool's
Well,
Day.
now you're not 106. So how did it start in your family?
No, there was a Greek immigrant come from Greece, of course, and he was 15 years old when he came to the United States, and he stopped in St. Louis, Missouri. His cousin, Nick Banus, already had a candy store in Martinsville, and he sponsored him from coming to Greece to the United States. And then he stopped in St. Louis and learned how to make candy and come on into Martinsville and bought a chocolate shop and started the Martinsville Candy Kitchen.
Hey, you know, my mama was a antique dealer, and she bought something once I never knew what it was, and it turned out it was a candy cane hook. Now, how many hooks do you guys have there for making candy canes?
We just have one, and it's a meat hook.
It's a meat hook, all right.
It's the original meat hook from the Candy Kitchen when Jimmy started and everything. So everything we use to make the candy canes with is original. Jimmy's a Pappas with his name, and whenever you buy the store, actually what you buy is the recipes, and then a marble table, and a cook stove, and a copper pot, and a hook. The scissors we use to cut the candy canes with is the same scissors that Jimmy has in his hand, which is a picture in our store that people can look at and see. Wow. And then there's a piece on the end of the table that makes little pieces, pillows, nuggets, whatever you want to call them. Everyone loves them.
105 years later. And there have been a couple different owners since then, and then it came into your guys' hands. Can you talk about joining the Candy Kitchen's journey?
Well, Jimmy had it, and then he sold it to a guy by the name of Ellis Ham. He had it for 10 years. Ellis got sick, so he had to sell it. He sold it to a guy by the name of Ken Addington and his wife, Jean, and they had it for several years after that. And Jimmy started in one location and moved to where his cousin was. And then Ken Addington, which had a restaurant in it, he didn't like the restaurant part, so he sold the restaurant and the building, and that was in the late 70s. Moved it back down to where Jimmy started. And then he had it several years there, and then he sold it to a lady by the name of Ann Marvel. And then she sold it to another lady that had it for 4 years, and she was from Mooresville. I don't have her name. And then she sold it to Karen Boyce, which she had it for a total of 8 years, and she had 3 different partners from what I understand. And then they were going to try and sell it, but they couldn't find a buyer. So we heard they was going to close the shop and sell the equipment off and everything. So my wife and I went in and talked to them, and we discussed it. And then I went and talked to my mother to see if she would run the store for us, because we both wanted to keep our jobs to help pay for the business. So my mother ran the store for us for about 14 years, but my wife and I would come in the evenings and make the candy, and she would make it into the smaller stuff. We'd make the big stuff. She'd turn it into the smaller stuff. And Dad helped a lot, and then I had 2 or 3 grandkids that's been through the store helping, and my son and daughter helped. So it's been a family affair for 20 years.
It truly is a family affair. So did you have to learn how to make candy, including candy canes? You must have had to learn to do all of this.
Yes, Bob and Karen stayed with us for about 30 days and taught us how to make everything. And we made candy canes with them 2 or 3 times, and we were kind of on our own. And our first opportunity to really make any candy canes, we decided to make some for July 4th and made them red, white, and blue. And we thought we did a pretty good job first time out, but by the end of that next Christmas, we realized our first ones in July weren't so perfect.
Such humility.
You live and learn.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's part of growing in a business. Is it? So now you've got candy canes going out all over the world. True?
Correct. Yes. When we first started, we were making about 10 or 12,000 candy canes. And keep in mind, our kitchen is no bigger than your kitchen at home, most likely. Maybe a little bit, but very little bit.
I've
bigger.
seen it. It is.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. It's like the ones we have in our home.
Is that the one? Is that the store on Main Street? Isn't that where their store is?
Yes.
On Main Street?
Yes.
I think
46 North Main Street. Yeah. But yeah, what was your question again?
About selling them all over the world now.
Oh yeah. We make 45,000 last year, and we're going to be close to that this year. So that's making about 3 batches a day, which is 600 candy canes every day. So that's 9 hours of nothing but making candy canes. And then the chocolate people have to work around me, and then we have a lady that does our baking. She has to work around us and everything. So we kind of control the kitchen, but we got nooks and crannies we can get them off into. And
I bet you smell
they do a pretty
good.
good job for not much space.
Yeah, that's what it is. Close quarters. I bet you smell like peppermint all the time.
Kind of, yeah. That or cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
I love that you even have candy cane demonstrations where people
Yeah.
can come in and watch you truly make the candy canes by hand.
Yeah, we make our first batch. We usually pour our first batch before we open, but by the time we're pulling the canes out, we're open. People can watch that part. But the other 2 batches are made, during the hours, and we have a glass wall. So anytime anyone's making anything, you can see what they're doing. So we don't hide much. It's all out there for you all to see. So
Do you sell anything else? Do you sell anything else but candy canes? Any fudge? Any Divinity?
Yeah,
anything
they're
else?
chocolate all year round.
Yes. Yeah, we got 3 cases of chocolates, and then the fudge is separated, and then we have baked goods, and then we have 24 flavors of ice cream, and we do coffee and Cokes and stuff like that. So we're the dessert before dinner. We do that for Valentine's Day.
For God's sakes, tell me you're not a
And then get your
diabetic.
dessert.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
even
I want
have
to put a sign on the front door that says, if you're allergic to something, you probably shouldn't be coming in here.
Yeah, that's a disclaimer for all the
Yeah.
You guys have social media, Facebook and Instagram, to find out all the information of when those candy cane demonstrations are, when you have special events. You had one yesterday, and then you guys are pretty much done for the Christmas season, just finishing out your candy orders, but then you'll have another event later on in the new year. Can you talk about that?
You're talking about in July?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mark your
yeah.
calendar.
Yeah, we do a Christmas in July. This is when we start taking orders for Christmas candy canes. Keep in mind, we do not make those Christmas candy canes till mid-October. From January to mid-October, we make about 10,000 canes. From mid-October to the end of December, we make about 35,000. So, but you can place your orders. Santa will be here for Christmas in July, and we have some other things we're working on. It's a food drive. There's several businesses around the square that participate. So last year what we did is you buy something in a store, bring a food donation, you get a free candy cane from us. So we give them candy canes to hand out as you give them the food and everything. So you don't have to come into our store to donate food. So
I noticed on your website that you have different flavors. You got wintergreen, spearmint, grape, lemon, orange, strawberry, cherry. Do they all look like candy canes? They just taste different?
correct. Each one has a different color stripe. We do 18 different flavors. Jimmy only did, the original owner only did the peppermint flavor. All the other flavors were added. I'm thinking one particular guy added most of them, but I don't know that for a fact. So, but we have 18 different flavors. We've dropped a couple and added a couple.
Yeah. We only have a little bit left. John Badger, owner of Martinsville Candy Kitchen, thank you so much for
Part of
taking
our
time
tradition.
to spend your weekend with us. Thank you, John.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
Just check our Facebook page out.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and support local, and this is about as family mom and pop that you'll ever find, and certainly making candy canes all around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Denny. Thank you. We're going to run.
Merry
Kylan,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you,
Merry
too.
Christmas,
From all of us
everybody.
here on the first day, everybody watching and listening, we appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and we'll be back here next week on the first day on 93 WIBC.
Looking for last-minute gifts? Shane Company can help, even if Come discover fine jewelry gifts in every price range, curated by our in-house design team and crafted with care to our high quality